Welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world, sports capital of the world. And now we're going to get into the medical part of it. In our show today, we have a special guest by the name of Dan Montano, and our co-host again, Shelly Stevens. Welcome back to the show here.
Thank you kindly for having me.
Okay, now your company is
Zhittya Genesis Medicine.
Okay, now you come up with some ideas that you've been working on for a number of years, a couple of decades already, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. We worked, well, the molecule was first discovered in the late 1980s. Mm-hmm. So the molecule has been around then. It was first acquired by Merck. Yeah. And they used it to heal diabetic foot ulcers, grow blood vessels in the leg to treat peripheral artery disease. And then 1998, we took over to use it to treat heart disease. And we've been working on it for the last 27 years directly.
What I want to just tell you viewers out there watching, you know, the reason why I brought Dan on the show today is because he spoke the other day briefly at one of the meetings we go to once a month. He spoke about an idea, something that's so much needed around the world. There's so many things that are going on, so many diseases and whatnot, but some people need a break in life sometimes, and Dan's been working on this for two and a half decades on this project, and it's so touching because something we're going to talk about, something we all need. Sometimes we forget certain things. Sometimes we have, Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's and whatnot, the dementia, the Parkinson's, and can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Okay, it's very simple. 65% of all people die from a lack of blood flow to a tissue or organ.
Right.
We all recognize insufficient blood flow in the heart is heart disease, can kill you. We know that if you have interrupted blood flow in the brain by a stroke, that can either make you disabled, kill you, or give away your memory. We know if it's in the legs, it's peripheral artery disease. It's throughout the body. Now we have discovered that probably 90% of all neurological diseases, with the exception of cancer, are lack of blood flow in the brain. So whether you're dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism, all of these things basically come from the same thing. The vascularization in the brain is no longer delivering the blood to where it's needed. So if the blood's not getting from point A to point B, and the point B is a neuron that holds your memories, you have memory issues. If it's movement, you have Parkinson's. So this medicine, which all of us use, everybody who's watching has used this molecule in your life 5,000-10,000 times. When you cut yourself, your body makes the molecule to tell your body to regenerate. The problem is the diseases we're talking about that kill 65% of all people, there's no trauma involved. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to use you as an example. I'm 76, so I'll use me.
Okay.
A person over 55 is probably having 1 or 2 strokes a month. But they're mini strokes, they're micro strokes. They don't even know them, they can't feel them. It's the blood vessel, a capillary is so small that it ruptures or it has a leak. That leads to long-term dementia, that leads to Alzheimer's, and all of that. The people you mentioned, the athletes are getting hit in the head. And we have medical work, people can see on our website, we have presentations, but the human brain is the most vascular part of your body, and the blood vessels are the most fragile thing in your body. You have billions and billions of these blood cells, capillaries, that their walls are one endothelial cell. I mean, you're talking, these things are so fragile, they make tissue paper look like titanium steel. So if somebody gets a blow to the head, blood vessels are ruptured in the brain. No issue. Your body regenerates. Get blowed again, your body will regenerate and repair most of it. But over time, the repairing doesn't become as efficient, especially as you get older. And to give one quick example, and everybody has seen where here's a human brain, and as a person gets older, Alzheimer's, dementia, you can see they shrink.
Right.
And they go, oh, the brain shrunk. You go to your neurologist and say, why does a brain shrink as you get older? And they say, because you get older. That's a real scientific theory. But the reality is a blood vessel is made up of living cells. And the blood cell at the end of the line, if it gets insufficient blood, lack of nutriment, lack of oxygen, it gets weak, it hibernates, and it dies. And so as the blood vessels retreat your brain shrinks.
You know what I want to do? I want to engineer to show a little video clip that we have to show about what's going on with exactly what he's explaining. We're going to go, Ray, you can start rolling it now.
Okay, these are one of our Parkinson's patients. You can see his hand is shaking uncontrollably on one. His hand is shaking.
On the left
That's
side?
on the other, on the left side. On the right side, you can see his hand stable. That was after a month of dosing.
Okay.
He got dosed, and his tremors went away, and he has improved dramatically. He complained to me that his golf game, he came in third place in a tournament, and I said, "Well, you don't tremor anymore, do you?" And he said, "No, but my golf game's no better."
So here we go.
This is a lady, Lisa O'Loughlin. You can see her walking. She's got a cane. She's not very stable.
Yeah.
She got dosed. On the other side, you can see her at her daughter's wedding. 3 months later, she's dancing. Doesn't have a lot of rhythm, but she's at least moving. She's not falling down, and she's not using the cane.
Hey, I don't have rhythm myself
That is,
when I'm dancing.
those are Parkinson's patients who have recovered, and we have dosed 200 Parkinson's patients, and we have about a 90% success rate. We have people go from wheelchairs to being able to walk and take care of themselves. So it's just a miracle, and this is all one thing: blood flow in the brain.
Every
Here's the
cell needs
example.
blood, especially your brain, an organ with 400 miles of blood vessels. If a blood vessel is dysfunctional, it can lead to a lack of blood flow in some parts of the brain. This can result in neurons becoming stressed, hibernating, or dying, eventually leading to diseases like Parkinson's disease or dementia. By therapeutically introducing FGF1 into the brain, we believe we can regrow blood vessels in areas of the brain lacking blood flow. We believe this can restore function to neurons that have been hibernating and clean up pre-existing toxic waste, as well as regenerate new neurons from your own neural stem cells. Over time, we believe that this could restore function for many people suffering with neurodegenerative diseases.
That was so interesting. And you know, my daughter's going to love this show because she's actually a scientist at Merck in Pennsylvania.
Excellent.
So she's definitely going to love this show. Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask you, what are the signs for like dementia and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's? Are they all different or the same, or how
Yeah,
does that work?
this is an excellent question, and let me make a comment so you understand. The brain is the most complicated machine ever created. Okay, nothing comes close to it.
Okay.
And it's got billions of neurons, it's got billions of axons. All these things need to be fed and coordinated and bathed, okay? Wherever the problem of lack of blood flow is, then the corresponding result is lack of performance. There's 3 of us at this table. If you and I eat and we don't feed Joe, he doesn't carry his weight after a month or 2, okay? So in the brain where you have this issue, wherever it is, you get this difference. But the question is, everybody sees it differently. I don't believe Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's because there was no way to say he had CTE because they hadn't invented CTE yet,
Right.
okay? I don't believe Lou Gehrig with ALS, he had circular trauma to his brain, okay? And so all of these diseases, autism is a vascular disease. Epilepsy is a vascular disease. So all of these diseases, it's the same thing. Now, everybody gets upset when I talk about this. Let me turn the clock back 100 and some years. 1918. Life expectancy in the United States of an adult male was 38 years old.
Right.
I wouldn't be here if they had not discovered a way to battle bacteria. With penicillin and the fight against the bacteria, the microbe, half the people in the world died from a bacterial infection. Tuberculosis was the #1 cause of death. We don't worry about tuberculosis anymore. If you get pneumonia, okay, fine, take some things or whatever. Half of the world used to die from bacterial infections. Today, over half the world is dying from blood flow interruption. And if it's in the brain, I don't care what the doctor calls it, central tremors, dementia, Alzheimer's, it's all the same thing. Just like people had a bunch of names for diseases 100 years ago, and they were all the same thing, a bacterial infection. So that's why I believe we're all going to live an extra 30 years, healthy and knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. And I think also that's why a lot of people in contact sports.
Right.
I was going to ask you about contact sports like MMA and boxing, football, the kind of sport like that. People, I mean, if you don't play these sports, we're into her business. I was myself. And what do you think these fighters and MMA individuals, and I mean, it's something that I see that they're going through hell. They don't get no cure for it. They say there's no cure for it.
I disagree. There is a cure for it.
Okay,
it's ours.
And I want you to tell me about it.
We have the cure. The problem is we've been to the NFL.
Right.
They won't talk to us.
Why?
Because they're not going to admit they have a problem. They just made a $2 billion settlement, and they don't want to admit. We've been to the Veterans Affair because PTSD is head trauma in combat, and the people have circulation issues. Right. They're not crazy. Their brain is, the wiring, the blood vessels have been screwed up. They won't, if the VA has told people, if you go into these studies with Zhittya, all your VA benefits are gone.
Wow.
The world is scared because this establishment. We sit here and we have people that, and you talk about boxers. Mm-hmm. I believe snow skiing,
Skiing.
Okay, skiing. Bicycle riding, head trauma. It's amazing all the people.
People in car accident.
But the issue is, if I come to you and I say, oh, you have a cut there. You look at it, we understand it, we deal with it. But if I say you have the same damage in your brain, everybody goes, yeah, right, she's just crazy. Okay. And the people can't see it now. That's why the press announcement we made yesterday is that we can now see inside the brain. We're using a functional MRI machine out of Washington University, St. Louis, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. We took a picture of a Parkinson's person's blood flow in his brains, dosed him. 6 months later, we took another picture, and voila, 21% increase in blood flow in 6 months.
Wow.
Now, the person, if you would have met him before he was dosed, he was a zombie. He would stand in the corner, he wouldn't talk, he barely moved, his wife had to give him directions. Right now, he won't shut up telling jokes, okay? He sat there, we met him in St. Louis afterwards, and all of a sudden, he starts talking about the guys in his platoon in Vietnam, and he's naming names and dates and whatever. This is a guy who couldn't remember what he did an hour ago. Yeah. Wow. And this is only 6 months. Now, it may take us a year or 2 or 3.
So why didn't they say, okay, we open the doors, you open the door to some discovery that's needed? Why are they going to go forward with it? Is it because of money-wise?
I like you so much. Do you know, according to the London School of Economics, to get a drug approved in the United States takes 18 years and costs between $1 and $2 billion. Now, I have no doubts that this medicine will reverse Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or PTSD. But I'll tell you what, Joe. You put up your half of the $1 billion, and I'll put up my half after yours. Okay. And we'll wait around 18 years to see if the FDA lets us sell the medicine.
Okay, well, let's do it.
It's insanity.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
That's why we're dosing people in the British Virgin Islands. We're taking our patients to the British Virgin Islands. Right. Now, here in Las Vegas, we're trying to get Nevada to change its right to try law so people can come here to Nevada and they can try this medicine.
Can we talk to the governor about that, Governor Lombardo?
We're having a meeting on April 2nd here at the Durango, and we're trying to get the governor and the assembly. We have people talking to them because the reason Nevada is a wealthy state is because they allowed legalized gambling.
Right.
No other state would allow it.
Right. We did it first.
Nevada did it first and dominated it for almost ever. Mm-hmm. Because Nevada said if somebody wants to gamble, like they have for thousands of years, even the cavemen were sitting around with rocks, okay? They said, let them come here and do it.
Right.
Right now, we're in the United States where the federal government passed the Right to Try Act 7 years ago.
Right.
It's been used 18 times. 18 times. That's 3 a year.
Right.
You want to know why? You have to have a verified letter from a doctor saying you got less than 12 months to live. and it takes 18 months for them to process the paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So if you have, from a boxer's point of view, if you have CTE, if you have dementia, if you have what looks like Parkinson's, and you're stage 4 Parkinson's, the doctor's already told you what's going to happen to you. There's no hope. It's over. So you don't qualify. But if the Nevada changes the law, now we can treat that person. And if all of a sudden, and this is something we try to talk to the NFL about. We know there's damage in the brain. Like somebody has an MMA fight.
Right.
You know there's damage to the brain. There's no two ways, okay? If the person takes a dosing a couple of hours after the match and helps repair the damage before it gets chronic, he may end up being 130 and run for president of the United States.
Wow.
You know, when I was refereeing, one of the things that we were always watching out for was for the safety. First and foremost, it was safety of the fighter. And I would stop a fight a little sooner than later because we knew back in the days when Ray Boo Boo Mancini fought a kid named Dooku Kim here in Las Vegas, and Dooku Kim, from blows he took to the head, he ended up dying a day or two later. And I've been involved in a fight myself. Well, a fighter had passed away 2 days after I refereed his fight, even though I stopped it. Before he was even winning, he never even went down. When I stopped it, it was just 2 blows that he took. And people say, Joe, why are you stopping the fight? When we beat the next fighter, I knew that sometimes a fighter takes too many blows to the head, it's time to stop it. And and I stopped it, and people were booing me for stopping the fight. But then the kid ended up having seizures in the dressing room. He ended up dying 2 days later.
But understand, Joe, that's the consequences you see now.
Right.
But imagine person fights for 10 years. Muhammad Ali,
Right.
in my opinion, one of the greatest boxers ever. I saw him in New York City in line at the Plaza Hotel, or his staff was in line. Mm-hmm. He was a zombie.
Right.
He was a zombie. He didn't have Parkinson's. He had everything. But the cumulative effect, so I hear there's MMA fighters that are having issues with tying their shoes. I understand wrestlers and boxers that are talking about memory loss. The sport doesn't have to destroy you. Okay, football doesn't have to destroy you, because the point is there are ways to repair this. So as an example, soldiers fighting in Afghanistan, they drop a mortar round, boom, the acoustic hits the head, ruptures blood vessels. Why don't they heal like they would heal at Camp Pendleton? It's because they're so scared. They're so excited, like a fighter or a boxer. Their body is making cortisone and adrenaline, and it occupies the same receptor. In that thing, you saw the receptors on the cell up,
Right.
looking for a signal to regenerate.
Right.
But if you're scared, fight to flight, it gets occupied by another molecule, you don't heal right. That's why you got to wait like a day and then dose it.
You talked about the cells, the stem cells. That is just part of it that will get this program, get this project on the right track. It's the stem cells, right?
No, stem cells, all the stem cells don't work. There's not a successful case of stem cells except blood transfer, which is a different topic, or maybe sometimes the knees. But stem cells don't work. Why, Joe?
Well, I know, yeah, it works. They've tried it. They've done studies, and they tried it on rats. They serve it the spinal cord on a rat, and they're able to regenerate on a rat, but they can't do it on human beings.
But why?
That's the problem. That's a big question.
Here's some seed. I got seed in my hand. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest seed in the world, stem cells.
Right.
I can grow with this.
Right.
I throw it on concrete and leave it on concrete.
Right.
No rain, no water. We're in Nevada, right? It ain't going to grow. It's got no water. Mm-hmm. If the area of your brain that's suffering is suffering because of lack of blood, water, and you put in anything, so what? Stem cells can't live without water. This is why what we've seen people regenerate their neurons is because if you take a stem cell, you have them in your brain. She has as many stem cells in her brain as an 18-year-old. Okay?
A couple of years ago.
No, today. Okay? What happens is stem cells your stem cells in your own brain, Joe, for them to go from a stem cell to become a cell in another part of your brain, preparing a new function, takes a huge amount of energy. Takes glucose, takes oxygen. You're talking about building an aircraft carrier. And if you have blood restrictions, they don't do it. When people get our medicine and they get new blood flows, you can see the stem cells coming in.
Yeah, well, I see there's a lot of fighters have gone through the blows to the head. I mean, you see so many. I've seen so many fighters. That's why when my grandson said he wanted Bryce, he said he wanted to go into boxing. I said, no, I don't want you to go into boxing. I did it as a professional, but I'm one of the few that didn't get hit that much in boxing. I can't say I didn't get hit. I got hit, but I never hit the campus. But it's such a anything with sports or veterans of the war. I mean, there's damage being. I mean, it happens every day. Right now, as we're speaking, how many car accidents out there? People have trauma to the head, and they never get back again. We need somebody like yourself to come up with a great idea. You've been working on it. You proved it already, over and over again. But the FDA doesn't want to give you the go ahead.
Well,
with it.
they're not fun. Hopefully, they're going to be a little more open-minded, since half of them are going to get fired, I hope.
Yeah, well,
but let me ask you a question.
I'd like to see Governor Lombardo on your side, because we can start with him for sure.
We're going to start, but understand.
He's a friend. He can make it. We can make it happen.
Traumatic brain injuries, 1 million hospitalizations a year. Bicycles.
Bicycle. Yeah, that's another.
It's not a violent sport.
Right.
Okay? And the helmet's worthless. But people don't realize your head. I mean, everybody sees this. Everybody goes, "This is hard." Okay?
It's like a rose on a stem, and it gets hit, and it goes.
That's right.
It's going back all over the place.
That's right.
Okay, and those blows. And that's where you get the little tears of the little vessels in there.
And the brain is like Jello inside of a jar.
Exactly.
And you're shaking it.
Right.
You go, "Wow, things inside ruptured." So. Sorry, I really love the topic.
No, but you're 100% right. We, as a referee, we've gone to seminars with doctors who try to explain to us why we should stop fighting a little sooner than later. It's because what happens inside your brain with those blows to the head, especially fighters, they have to make weight. They dehydrate so much, and there's not enough fluid in the brain, and that's when it blows to the head, and it will blow, and it tears a little vessel in there. That's where you get the blood clot.
Well, and understand, my dad was a boxer, boxed professionally. I boxed Golden Gloves. Okay. Fortunately, I had an older brother who used to beat the out of me, so I learned how to cover good. But understand, MMA, those athletes, they take pain.
Yes.
I mean, no offense, a boxer takes pain, but those guys take pain.
Yeah, they stay with their knees or their knees to the head and the elbow.
I mean, and you sit there, and I keep saying, all you have to do is let them take this and get the vascularization going. A lot of MMA people are reporting in the age of 50, they have memory issues, they have balance issues.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm glad we're in Las Vegas because it's the entertainment capital of the world. But I think soon it's going to be the medical research center.
I think so too. I agree with you 100%. I can see it happening. We need more people like you. See, the Cleveland Clinic is doing the brain studies. They do a lot of stuff with the brain. The Mayo Hospital, would they be somebody that?
No, none of them care.
They don't care.
My friend, the number one cause of death in the world is lack of blood flow to the heart. We have proven in human studies, we've gone through FDA up to phase 2, we've proven that we can inject in the heart and we can save the lives of people, add 15 years to their life. We can't get interventional cardiologists to work on our trials because as soon as our medicine's approved, nobody's going to get stents anymore. They get extra bonuses for so many stents they put in. They no, we're not going to do that. That's bar. No, all we're doing is injecting your own natural molecule to make the blood vessels grow naturally. In 40-some years, there has never been a reported adverse event. I've taken this 7 times up my nose. Okay, not that I had any brain issues. I didn't think.
Is it a spray?
Yeah, it's a snort up the nose. Yeah.
How many times?
We do once in the morning, once at night right now.
Okay.
And I did it 7 times, full thing, because I'm the captain of the ship. And I'm telling people it's safe. And you got to be real concerned if the captain of the plane doesn't want to get on it. So I took the medicine. My wife's taken it. I think everybody on our board of directors has taken it because I didn't think I had any brain issues. Yeah. I could not believe after 6 weeks the clarity. All of a sudden, I was remembering things from my childhood. All of a sudden, I could do math again like I was 22. I went, wow, I didn't think I had a problem.
How long is this treatment?
It depends. So you're not going to like this one, okay? We don't know because depends also on how bad the person's brain is damaged. If you've got somebody who, like Muhammad Ali, that ain't going to happen with one squirt. Okay. Right now, 2 years, we're getting unbelievable progress. Now, that's like taking it once in the morning, once in the night, skipping a couple of weeks, which I won't bore you with. But I'll tell you something else. Have you ever heard of type 2 diabetes?
Yeah.
Okay. Half of you out there have it. Pay attention. Okay. It's not, it is a brain disorder. It has nothing to do with anything but your brain. Your brain has neurons that sense the glucose in your bloodstream. If those neurons are not working properly, you can't control your glucose, or they can't control the insulin. We have 10 patients, type 2 diabetes. They took it up the nose, morning, evening, 6 days, and 100% reversed. No type 2 diabetes. Now, you would think, by the way, and that was written up and it's all well known around the world, you would think Big Pharma would jump on something that can reverse type 2 diabetes in the United States and the world. You're talking about 6 days of squirting and you're cured?
Yeah.
We're alone.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you viewers out there, you got to do something about, say something about it. That's why I want you guys to share this program, like and subscribe to it because we need the world to know about what Mr. Montano is doing with this project. This is unbelievable stuff. When I heard him mention about that they had found a cure for this, I said, wait a minute, I got to get him on my show because he's somebody that can change the whole world around, which is what we need today. It's something so much needed,
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I'm just amazed by everything that you said. It's like you said it's going to be a spray.
Right.
That's it. That's easier than taking a pill.
Up the nose, and then it travels along the olfactory nerve into the cerebral fluid. And guess what? About 30% of Parkinson's patients have lost their sense of smell. Losing your sense of smell is an early part of some brain disorders. We've sat there, and you can go on the YouTube channel where our company has a site. People have gone to the British Virgin Islands, dosing in the morning, dosing at night. On day 4, they go, what is that smell? The smell has been here. Hey, God, I can smell a hamburger. You can go on there and register for more information or register for the clinical studies or trials. Or you can reach out to me personally. My email address is very simple. It's Dan, D-A-N, 333 at AOL.com. That's DAN 333 at AOL.com. The great thing about being 70 is you got an early AOL number.
Okay, well, you guys heard it there. Dan, having you on the show today is really like a blessing in disguise because we need somebody like you to be on here. We could bring all kinds of folks on the show, but somebody like you can help the whole world, not only in sports, but in everything in life, in all walks of life. People from all walks of life want to get your kind of treatment. If you don't, you have to make sure you get somebody to say, we got to push this project. Talk to your doctors, maybe not your doctor, but you got to talk to your government, somebody to get you on the right track. You're going to be meeting with Governor Joe Lombardo at we said March 18th?
We're on April 2nd, we're having a meeting here. Yes. Okay,
that's great. That's going to be great. We wish you the very best with that. To me, you're an undisputed champion. He's fair, but he's firm. God bless him always. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you.